The desert night exploded with the roar of helicopters. Heavily armed men rappelled from the sky, their target a ranch house outside El Paso. Inside, Ismael El Mayo Zambada, the last godfather of the Sinaloa cartel, sipped his coffee, unaware that his reign was about to end. For decades, El Mayo had been a ghost, a whisper in the drug trade, always one step ahead of the law. He had risen to become one of the most powerful drug lords in the world, his empire stretching across continents. But on this night the shadows couldn't hide him. The raid was swift, precise, and overwhelming. Years of intelligence work culminated in this moment. El Mayo, caught off guard, offered no resistance as the agents closed in. The kingpin was captured, his reign of terror over. The news sent shockwaves through the underworld. El Mayo, the man who had seemed untouchable, had fallen. His arrest marked a turning point in the war on drugs, a victory that resonated across borders. To understand the significance of El Mayo's capture, one must understand the man himself. Born into poverty in rural Mexico, Zambada rose through the ranks of the drug trade with a ruthless efficiency that became his trademark. Unlike his flamboyant partner Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, El Mayo preferred to operate in the shadows. He was a master strategist, a logistical genius who built a vast network of corruption and violence that stretched from the mountains of Mexico to the streets of America. While El Chapo craved the limelight, El Mayo cultivated an aura of mystery. He was a phantom, a boogeyman whispered about in hushed tones. This elusiveness made him even more dangerous, his legend growing with each successful drug shipment, each bribe paid, each enemy silenced. With El Chapo behind bars, El Mayo became the undisputed leader of the Sinaloa cartel. He was the last of a dying breed, a relic of a bygone era when drug lords operated with impunity. His capture marked the end of an era. The operation to capture El Mayo had been years in the making. It involved the cooperation of multiple agencies across 2 countries. The DEA, FBI, and Mexican authorities worked tirelessly, sharing intelligence. The key to El Mayo's capture lay in his family. He relied on family members to run his empire, a weakness exploited by authorities. By monitoring his relatives, they tracked him to a safe house outside El Paso. Under the cover of darkness, a joint task force took El Mayo by surprise. The Godfather was taken alive, ending his reign of terror. Section 4. Power Vacuum. What happens to the Sinaloa cartel now? With El Mayo behind bars, the Sinaloa cartel faces an uncertain future. The organization he ruled with an iron fist is now vulnerable, its leadership in disarray. The question on everyone's mind: who will fill the void? Internal strife is inevitable. El Mayo's sons, eager to prove themselves, will likely clash with older lieutenants vying for control. Rival cartels, sensing weakness, will see an opportunity to seize territory and expand their influence. The result could be a bloody power struggle, plunging Mexico into another cycle of violence. The Mexican government, already grappling with the cartel's influence, now faces the daunting task of preventing a full-scale war. They must move quickly to assert control, crack down on corruption, and dismantle the networks of power that El Mayo built over decades. The capture of El Mayo presents an opportunity to strike a decisive blow against the cartel, but it is only the beginning. The fight is far from over. Section 5. A lifetime on the run. El Mayo's elusive past. El Mayo's capture was the culmination of a decades-long game of cat and mouse. He was a master of evasion, always one step ahead of the law. He bribed officials, terrorized witnesses, and vanished into the rugged mountains of Sinaloa seemingly at will. Stories abound of his legendary escapes. He once reportedly slipped out of a police raid dressed as a woman. Another time, he is said to have escaped a military checkpoint by hiding in a secret compartment of a car. Whether true or embellished, these tales added to his mystique, making him seem invincible. His elusiveness was no accident. El Mayo understood the value of intelligence. He cultivated a vast network of informants within law enforcement and the government, giving him advance warning of raids and operations. He was always watching, always listening, always planning his next move. His capture, therefore, represents a major intelligence victory. It suggests that the authorities have finally managed to penetrate his inner circle, to break down the wall of secrecy and fear that protected him for so long. Section 6. The domino effect impact on the drug world. The arrest of El Mayo will have ripple effects throughout the global drug trade. His capture will disrupt networks, at least temporarily. Rival gangs will scramble to fill the void. Prices may fluctuate as organizations jostle for control. Other groups will likely step in to fill the void.